Hi, good evening to all of you guys. Welcome to this session. And in this session, we'll be taking up actual CAT verbal ability questions. In this section, the section is actually very challenging, but most of us take this section very lightly. I don't know why, but I think that out of innocence, we think that we all are from English medium school and we started our education in English medium. So what's so big deal about verbal ability in RCs in CAT? Because we shall be given couple of RCs and just we have to solve couple of RCs and read couple of articles and answer couple of questions. So game is altogether different when it comes to solving RCs, reading comprehension passages, that too under time pressure. That's a major concern or the twist or the catch in the story when it comes to competitive exams. In CAT, as we all know, we have got 24 questions as per the latest pattern, and the time allotted sectional time limit is 40 minutes. We have got 4 RCs, so you can very well imagine the level of difficulty or the kind of pressure that any test taker will have during the exam. So guys, let's start with welcome all of you once again, and my name is Rajeev Markanday, and let's start with today's session. So guys, are we all ready to put our 120? I'm not demanding 100%, but I want you to put 120%. And of course, your answer would be big yes. So let us start with today's session. So guys, first of all, we shall be analyzing. So in just 1 hour session, I'll not be solving all the questions from all the slots. I'll have picked up couple of important questions just to show you the level of difficulty and the kind of direction we should have and what kind of questions generally we come across while solving these this verbal ability section. So it's not possible, otherwise it's not feasible even to solve all the 3 slots verbal section in just 1 hour. So purpose is to first of all discuss components, what components we have in verbal ability and challenges involved. Very very important. My main objective is to make you aware about the challenges generally we are not aware of. We take this session very very lightly, and throughout the course of preparation we just focus on mathematics, LRDI. I know that these two are very difficult subject, but all the 3 subjects are equally important, and to get the calls from decent colleges we should have sectional limit, sectional cutoff in every section, every area, and overall it has to be 99.99 to get the call from decent colleges, right? So challenges involved. Third, reading, why, and reading and its importance, and actual CAT 21 verbal questions. So these areas will be touching in this session. So guys, components, as we already are aware of, we have got reading comprehensions, summary, very important. A paragraph is given to us followed by 4 options, and we have to pick up the option which is aptly summing up the above paragraph. Then we have got sentence rearrangement question. Very tempting section, because this section, these questions, they come without options. They are called TITA, type in typable answer question, or what in layman's term these are also called non MCQ question, means non multiple choice questions. So sentence arrangement, and then a couple of sentences, normally 4 or sometimes 5 sentences would be given to us, and we have to rearrange them in a proper logical order. This is called SR, or what we call para jumbles also. And then we are given misfit also. Misfit, 4 sentences generally are given to us, and we have to find out which particular sentence is odd among the given sentences. That's called misfit one, finding the misfit or finding the odd one out. So guys, these are the components we should be very very careful about. We should be all aware of these 4 components. Now if you use your common sense and you look at these sections carefully, what you observe? So guys, reading comprehension, passage would be given to us followed by a question. Summary, a paragraph given to us followed by 4 options. Sentence element, again we have generally we shall be given 4 or 5 sentences, and we have to find out the logical order. Box is given below in these kind of question, theta question, and we have to write key in the answer, the order in numeric form. Then guys, we have got misfit also, 4 sentences or 5 sentences, and again we have to find out the odd one out. So if you look at verbal ability, one conclusion is very very solid and very very evident and very very tangible also, that without increasing our level of comfort with this language, there is no point we can think of applying tricks to solve. Let it be RCs, let it be summary, let it be SR, or let it be misfit. So first of all, we need to we need to increase our level of comfort of this language. And If you ask me, the weightage wise, RC 16 questions alone, summary 3 questions, these 19 questions will have options. So if you want to maximize your score in verbal ability, then it's for sure that we need to focus on 4 RC 16 questions and 3 summary questions, because in SR or Misfit, in case if you get these questions right, then this would be your added bonus, and if you get these questions wrong, it is not going to impact your overall score. So SR Misfit, but again there's catch in these two types, so we shall be taking care of discussing this catch in these questions. So all in all, guys, CAT verbal ability is driven alone by your level of comfort, your ability to understand the context given in the, let it be RCs or summary or SR or Misfit. So no shrewdness, no cleverness, directly proportional to only and only reading. So make sure that you start reading a lot and develop genuine interest in the reading. So guys, challenges involved. Likewise, what are the challenges? First is understanding. If you do not understand while reading the RC, if you're not able to capture the main idea, believe me, you're gone. So comprehension we need to work on. Tricky question types. We have got 6 or 7 question types in RCs. For example, main idea, inference, tone, title, vocabulary, and most important, critical reasoning based question. From 2018 onwards, we are generally coming across critical reasoning based questions, and these are something like this. For example, which of the following, if true, will strengthen or weaken the author's argument? Now you are not able to capture the author's argument, there's no point in strengthening or weakening. Or if you are not aware of the fundamental critical reasoning tricks to solve these question types, then you'll find yourself helpless. So these 6 or 7 question types. Tricky question types in SR also, we have got a tricks to solve to track the opening sentence, closing sentence, to track the mandatory pair. Odd one out also. In summary also, we should not include the examples, we should focus on the key points. Generally students are literally confused, I don't know why, that while attempting summary questions, they think as if they are solving reading comprehension. So guys, summary, and there's a difference between main idea and summary. Generally people, student test takers generally think that initially at the start of the preparation, they think that summary is equal to main idea, but main idea can only be one of any given article or the RC. Summary means collection of all the key points at one place, and we do not include examples in our main idea summary questions. So that's a technical difference. Generally while solving summary based question, people generally pick up the main idea of the stuff or the given paragraph, and they think that they have attempted this question correctly, and still they get these questions wrong, and they're not able to figure it out. The difference is commonsensical. So guys, you need to increase your level of comfort. Aversion to reading. If you do not like reading, and you get skin rashes, you go colorblind while reading articles, you do not want to read, you hate reading, that means some serious problem is there with your attitude. You need to change your attitude. Please do not think like Shinchan or Nobita and just behave like grown up, and you want to start your career at the level of management in corporate sector, and you want to score well in CAT, but you don't want to read. Some kind of paradox is there. You need to change yourself. So this fourth point is not going to help. You need to change your attitude. And guys, generally in RCs, most of the students I have seen that they come to me, sir, generally we come across very close options. So what to do? Kya kare? What to do? So close option hoga na, whenever you were not at focus while reading, your focus was not at peak level, it's for sure that you'll every option you think that would be is the answer, or every option there is no answer in the given option. So close option, how to tackle, I'll tell you. Then we got, guys, sentence arrangement misfit, and these are theta type. Theta type question means non MCQ questions. So in this particular type, so in this particular type, guys, first of all, you will not be able to apply the tricks. Generally we teach all the tricks in our classes, regular classes, but until unless we understand what is exactly going on, there is no point that we can fit in our pieces. Now one catch about sentence arrangement question, guys, just listen very carefully. This is a commonsensical conclusion. Generally we are given either 5 sentences to rearrange or 4 sentences. Let's say if we are given 5 sentences, then 5 sentences, in how many ways these 5 sentences can be rearranged? We have got 5 factorial or 5p5. 5 factorial means 120 ways. Out of 120 total number of rearrangements, we have got only one correct as given by the examiner. Still we shall be left with 119 wrong rearrangements, and out of these 119 wrong rearrangements, still we'll have 19 to 20 similar looking rearrangements. So guys, it's highly likely that while solving these kind of question, if your answer, for example, if your answer is 54321 and you write your answer 54321, and it's human nature, when we are solving the next question, we'll come back to the previous question. No, I think that it has to be 35421. So this is human nature. So one of you have asked also that how to handle this para jumble. So first of all, do not be so conscious about para jumble and odd one out, because we have got only 5 questions. If you want to score well, then you need to focus on 16 RC plus 3 summary questions. One. Second, in spite of all your best efforts, all your practice, your exceptionally good vocabulary skills, you have practiced tricks a lot, you have read 1000 articles, still out of 5 questions under time pressure, you'll not be able to get all the 5 correct. And look at this, this is only 30%, 25 to 30% area SR and odd one out. So guys, why to bother about 25 to 30% portion when we have got 70% alone based on reading comprehension, only one section, and remaining SR summary questions. So please do not be so bothered about para jumbles. And this is very tempting. This is human nature. In case if you start playing with the question, the SR question, para jumble questions will also start playing with your career, and you'll be just committing suicide. Because if you keep on playing with these questions, let's play SR, let's play para jumble, let's play odd one out in the paper, and you keep on solving, juggling with the numbers to rearrange to find the odd one out, then you'll be it would be sheer wastage of time, and you'll be killing your time. So make sure that you just focus on RCs and summary, and after enough practice, if you manage to get 3 out of 5 correct, 4 out of 5 correct, would be added bonus. So should not rely too much on, and attempt these questions only once. Read all the in the exam while learning. Whatever time you want to spend in these questions, spend the time. But in the exam, in real exam, real scenario on the D-Day, just make sure that you read these sentences only once with great focus, and whatever you think is the final rearrangement or sequence of the final sequence, write down your sequence. Otherwise, you'll be just wasting your time, because you've got 4 RCs. One RC you are taking 10 to 12 minutes, and you have to complete 4 RCs. Let's say in case you want to go for 3 RCs, even 12 into 3, 36 minutes. We shall be left only with 4 minutes, and remaining 4 minutes, believe me, you'll not be able to do even one summary question. Believe me. So make sure that you need to increase the level of comfort. We need to work on our vocabulary also. That's why reading is very, very important. So I think, have I answered your question? Whoever has asked this, Kritika Mittal, have I answered your question? If yes, then you can write yes. So reading and its importance, guys, it is very important. The most important is the most important factor to score well in verbal ability. You cannot escape reading, and you should not even. Please include variety. I'll be showing you a couple of passages from slot 1, slot 2, slot 3 to make you aware that in CAT we have got variety of passages. Inclusion of variety in reading. And reading helps in increasing vocabulary. One is one of the major reasons that why we are not able to solve RCs well, why we read slowly while attempting RCs. It is because our lack in vocabulary and content also. And this you'll be able to prepare content also for interviews and essay writing, because immediately after you crack the written exam, you shall be shortlisted for essay writing in IIMS and interviews also. And in interview, we generally ask your take, your opinion on current issues or whatever is happening in the world, or current affairs, what we call in layman's term. So we need to develop, and do not think that after cracking written exam in just 15 days you'll be able to increase the word GK, you'll be able to mug up everything. You are terribly mistaken. You are living in fool's paradise. So reading is very, very important throughout. We are in the month of February, and CAT would be in the, I'm assuming that you all are CAT 22 aspirant. So the paper is in the month of November. So still we have got ample time to improve our level of comfort, increase our level of comfort, vocabulary and confidence also in this section. Otherwise, when you start taking mocks, right, then you realize that this section also requires efforts from your side. So guys, slot 1. If you look at slot 1, this is a first passage, one of the passages from slot 1. This is based on science and technology passage. Area is called science and technology. So guys, now listen carefully. In CAT, generally we'll come across 4 very important areas on which you will find RCs to be based. One, science and technology. Right now the RC which is visible on screen is science and technology based RC, science based primarily. Then second area, very prominent, business and economy. Third area is called sociology. And fourth area, couple of areas from liberal arts, for example language, or what we call literature also, art, music, and sometimes history also, because in second slot we had this year we had this one passage based on Mayan civilization, the way they used to represent artifacts, or they used to take artifacts in inanimate or animate version, form. So these are the four prominent areas, so you need to include variety in your reading. So guys, if we read this passage, I don't know how many of you are able to see this uh, content. So if we read this passage, so it talks about, primarily it talks about, so cuttlefish are full of personality, and as behavioral ecologist Alexander Scannell found while researching, so cuttlefish are full of personality, as behavioral ecologist Alexander Scannell found out while researching the cephalopods' potential to display self-control. So they were very interested, the ecologists, environmentalists, behavioral scientists, they were quite interested whether this cuttlefish has also got this ability to control itself when there are temptation right in front of their eyes or in the sea. So self-control is thought to be the cornerstone of intelligence, as it is an important prerequisite for complex decision making and planning the future, as per this scientist Scannell. So in this study, Scannell study used a modified version of marshmallow test. Marshmallow test, in which it generally is performed on kids, 5 to 6 years old kid, and we give them this toffee candy bar, and we tell them not to eat for 15 minutes. Those who lose control and they eat the candy after 1 or 2 minutes, it has been seen that they are not able to perform well in their later life, and those who had self control, they generally perform better. So between the age of 4 and 6, with one marshmallow, he told them if they waited for 15 minutes and didn't eat it, he would give them second marshmallow. This is actual marshmallow test. A long-term follow-up study showed that children who waited for second marshmallow had more success in later life. But now we are dealing with a fish. So the cuttlefish version of experiment looked a little different. So a little different, and the researcher worked with 6 cuttlefish under 9 months old and presented them with seafood instead of sweets, because they'll not be able to enjoy toffees, sweets. So second screen, I'm just reading the screen for you just to show that how come the cat paper setters will play with our emotion, and they generally play with our emotion. Since researcher could not explain to cuttlefish, because it is very easy for us to explain kids that you should do this or you should not do this, because fish will not be able to understand our language. So researcher could not explain the cuttlefish that they would need to wait for the shrimp, their favorite food. So instead, this had some experimental setup in the experimental control area. The boxes were kept in which shrimp, their favorite food, live grass shrimp, and raw king prawn, so-so, liked by cuttlefish, and then king prawn, disliked by cuttlefish. So one drawer labeled with a circle, immediate, had raw king prawn, means they like it on an average basis. Another drawer labeled with triangle means delayed. In delayed, the scientists put shrimp, live grass shrimp, favorite food of cuttlefish. During the control experiment, square labels meant never, right? Three directions shown. So if their self-control is flexible, and I hadn't just trained them, because it's very difficult to train fish to wait in any context, you would expect cuttlefish to take immediate. Generally, while reading the passage, you will find the same. Take the immediate reward in the second in the control, even if it is their second preference, says Kennel, and that's what they did. That showed researchers that cuttlefish wouldn't reject prawns if it was the only food available, right? If when it comes to only availability, then they will go for the second favorite prawn. In the experimental trials, cuttlefish did not jump on the prawns. Just look at this now. Author is showing that they had self-control also. If live grass shrimp were labeled with triangle, right, they were able to, cuttlefish was able to recognize that in this box with triangle, live shrimps are available. So many of them waited for shrimp drawer to open up. Now this shows that they had self-control. It's very important line to understand this passage. So guys, why I'm doing this science and technology passage with all of you? The point is that Khushi. So Khushi, in this non-fiction, yeah, rather than studying fiction, better to go for non-fiction books. On our website, you will find 150 free downloadable PDF books in the form of PDF, and you can download whatever you want to out of these 150. I will generally recommend my students to start with Alchemist, Atlas Shrugged by Evelyn Toffler. If you want to start with something simpler, then go for Who Moved My Cheese, and then move on to something very complex like Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, etc. So yes, non-fiction books are really very helpful. Fictional books based on fictions are not so helpful. So guys, coming back to this passage, why I have picked up science and technology based passage. It is very simple, because these passages generally science, whenever we look at science, generally will have some sort of logic or reasoning involved in these kind of passages. And if you're not from science background, if you're from commerce background or arts background, then you'll find it's very difficult, first of all, to make the connect with these kind of passages if you haven't practiced them earlier. And if you're not able, if you miss the reasoning part in this these science and technology passage, believe me, you'll not be able to attempt even single question out of based on these passages. So it's very important to take science and technology passages seriously. So each time cuttlefish showed that it could wait. Very important. The researcher tagged another 10 seconds on the next round for waiting before releasing the shrimp, their favorite fruit. The longest that cuttlefish waited was 130 seconds. So now it is very clear that they showed that they have got control over their ability to go for temptation or not. So if I just move ahead, assuming that if you want to read the screen, guys, while watching the recorded version, you just have to press pause and you can read, and so that while discussing the question, you are able to understand what we discussed. So this generally it is in order, one of the tricks that we human beings also employ to avoid temptation is to distract ourselves from temptations. So this is the same was done by cuttlefish also while waiting for the reward. So not the last part of this passage, not every species can use self-control, but most of animals that can share some another common trait also. What is that common trait? That those species which have self-control, so they are very social. Cuttlefish, on the other hand, are solitary creatures, means they love to be alone, and that they do not form relationship even with mates or young. So we don't know, author is saying, the scientist is saying, we don't know if living in a social group is important for complex cognition, means thinking ability, unless we also show those abilities lacking less in social species also. So last, some sort of question mark is there. By nature, they are solitary creatures. Cuttlefish are solitary creatures, and they exhibit whatever is exhibited by human beings, which we all consider that we belong to. We have got social tendencies also. So kind of this, if you have to complement this passage, you need to add one very prominent line, because generally this is shown by animals. Self-control is shown by the species which are social by nature, gregarious, sociable. But this, in spite of being solitary creature, they showed. So it shows that they've got some sort of social understanding also. In order to validate this thesis, we need to add this line, because this is one of the questions that was framed by the paper setter last year, 2021, that what we need to add to complete this passage. So this was, I assume that if we have understood this passage a little, let me show you how to solve the questions. So guys, one of the questions based on this. So all of the following constitute point of difference between original and modified version of marshmallow taste, except. So make sure that you read the questions also very carefully. So if I read, and in order to solve this except kind of question, read all the options, keep on negating, and whatever we are left with would be an answer option. So here we have to find out the point, the option which is not the difference between these two, modified version and the original version. So the former was performed over a longer span of time. Yes, for 15 minutes, as is given in the passage. This is the difference. Yes. So this will not be our answer option. The former had human subjects. Yes. While later had cuttlefish. Very obviously. So this cannot be the difference. The former used the verbal communication. Yes. And later developed symbolic means. Some symbols were drawn. The food was put in the drawer. Fourth would be our answer option. Now, this is possible only if we understand the gist, if we understand the crux, if we understand the main idea. We have to read these passages very, very carefully. This was for most of the students, this was the first passage in the slot one of the passages, and we need to prioritize. After 3 or 4 months of preparation, you will come to know about your strengths and weaknesses in different RC subjects. So for example, if I am from science background, I'll be very comfortable in understanding anything which is based on science, So my first priority while solving the question would be that I should read science-based passages. I should handle science-based passages first. My second likable area is, let's say, economy. So I should go for at second number position I should pick up RCs which are based on business and economy. Third, sociology, and I'm not so fond of history or philosophy or psychology, then that should be my last priority. So this you have to figure out after let's say reading 50 articles on each of these 4 areas. You'll be able to judge that out of these 4 areas you're least comfortable with this particular area and you're most comfortable with this. In which we are most comfortable should be our first priority in the exam, and in which we are least comfortable should be our last priority. So moving on to the next question, guys. In one of the following scenarios, would the cuttlefish behavior demonstrate self-control? So in the passage, I read these couple of lines that cuttlefish waited for 1 minute for the drawer to open, right? So in whichever option we see that they waited for a couple of seconds or minutes, that will show that, prove that they demonstrated self-control. So if you look at this, look at the third option. So in third option, you'll find Asian shore crabs and raw prawns were simultaneously released, while live grass shrimp, their favorite food item, drawer labeled with triangle, is placed in front of cuttlefish to be opened after 1 minute. So if this is done and if they wait for 1 minute, it will show that they have got self-control. So guys, this is called critical reasoning based question. Which of the following, if true, would best complement the passage? Now this is passage finding. In passage finding, so it exactly was counter to what we saw in what we see generally in human beings, that human beings are very sociable in nature and we show self-control, higher cognitive abilities. But cuttlefish, in spite of being solitary, didn't show showed this ability to have self-control. So in order to complement, then pick up the option which will complement, which will complete this finding. So it has to be third option. Cuttlefish live in big groups that exhibit sociability, right? So this is the only thing that we can have in place otherwise. So which of the following cannot be inferred? Now if it is cannot be inferred, so read all the options. Here in this particular kind of question, generally our ability to retain the stuff is checked. So if I read cuttlefish self-control with the help of diversion, yes, they showed. Cuttlefish exercise choice when it comes to food, yes. Intelligent species is impossible without sociability, this is would be the answer option. And let's read fourth option also. Like human children, cuttlefish are capable of self-control, yes, they are. So it has to be option 3. So this cannot be inferred from this experiment that intelligence in species is impossible without sociability, and right. So this is our answer option. Which of the following cannot be inferred from Scannell experiments? So this we were asked. So third option. So guys, remaining areas. Look at the remaining areas. Slot 1. If you look at slot 1, passage 2 was based on, one of the passages was based on sociology. One of the passages was based on business, economy, and history combined. Passage one of the remaining passage, the last passage, was based on history plus behavioral sciences. Now if you think that if you read editorials, and if you think that only reading editorials based on business, economy, or politics will help you in scoring well in CAT, then again you're terribly mistaken. So we need to include variety. Now the second question which is coming to our mind is that where one can find the variety. Very important question. So from Monday to Friday, primarily Saturday also, from Monday to Saturday you will find editorials to be based on business or economy, or at the max politics. With every newspaper you'll find Sunday supplement also. In Sunday supplement, you will find articles on variety of issues other than business, economy and politics, sociology, art and culture, music, literature, etc. So make sure that you do not miss Sunday supplement that you get along with your newspaper till November 2022. So now here we have got this one I have picked up this Para Jumble question from slot 1. So this is odd one out. Sorry, this is odd one out question. So in this, guys, the tricks will remain the same. Generally, we teach in our classes regarding SR also. Here, the task is double. First of all, we need to find out the order of the sentences, and you will find one sentence which is not gelling well with the rest of the sentences. So I'm reading these quickly, rushing through these 4 sentences for all of you. So first, say the legal status of resources mined in space remains ambiguous, means there is no clarity regarding who can or who cannot mine the resources in the outer space. While the market for asteroid minerals is currently non-existent in today's world, but it is likely to change as technical hurdles diminish. Means as soon as we are able to reach fast there in outer space and come back with minimal expenditure and with greater safety, probably this will also start. Outer space is commons. Now, if you do not understand the meaning of the word commons, you will not be able to understand, solve this question itself. That's a role of the vocabulary. Commons means anything, any resource which anybody can exploit, anybody can use. This is called commons. So outer space is commons and all of it is open for exploration. However, space law developed in 50s and 60s were state-centric, means couple of nations favored only couple of nations, strong nations like US, America, and arguably ill-suited for commercial future, because in 50s, 60s they were not able to think about, envision, envisage that in 2021 or 2022 the scenario will be something like this. 2 sentences. Laws adopted by US and Luxembourg are the first step, but they only protect firms from competing claims by their compatriots. A Chinese company will not bound by the US law. Fourth, critics say that US is conferring rights that it has no authority to confer. Russia in particular has condemned this, criticized this, citing US disrespect for international law. And fifth, look at fifth. At issue now is commercial activity, as private firms rather than nation states look to space for profit. So in the treaties in 50s and 60s, so it was mandatory that no nation can claim that space is its property. Space belongs to every nation. But when it comes to private firm, we cannot stop private firm from exploring anything on the earth or over the earth. So if you look at 2531, starting with 2, outer space is commons. All of it is open for exploration. However, space law developed in 50s, 60s is state-centric, ill-suited for commercial future. So at that time, they didn't think about the private firms venturing into space. They were not even aware of that one day Elon Musk will come, or Virgin Atlantic Jeff Bezos will come, and they will try to explore. Richard Branson will come and they'll try to explore outer space. Second, after second 5 will come. At issue now is commercial activity. So after second 5 will come, and after this 3 will come. Law adopted by US and Luxembourg are the first steps. And after this 1 will come. The legal status of resources mined in space remain ambiguous. In spite of all the efforts, still ambiguity is there. And if you look at 4th sentence, critics say that US is conferring rights. Now here we are targeting the rest of the 4 sentences. We are only talking about laws related to mining in space by private firms. And here we are talking about 2 nations. Critics say that US is not respecting international laws, or Russia is criticizing America, and US says that it has no authority over to confer, to guide, or to tell the people that they can do or they cannot do. So 4th is our odd one out. But point is, purpose is not to solve this question with all of you in just a 1 hour session. Purpose is to tell you that without understanding all the 5 sentences and the story in them or the context in them, there is no point we can think of solving this question. So step number 1, read all the given sentences very, very carefully. Try to figure out what is happening, what is the story, because generally we have RC classes and our methodology first, which first teach the student how to track the main idea or the theme. So here we have to figure out a theme, what exactly is happening. Then you will you try to rearrange the sentences around the theme. This is what RC is all about. In RC also everything moves around the central idea. So here everything will move around the theme or the central idea, and then we can think of that this one sentence is not gelling well with the central theme, or it is No doubt it is on the same issue, but it is talking something different or little different. The tangent is little different. So this would be our odd one out. But again, this is very time consuming. Again, I am warning you and requesting you, advising you that make sure that you do not spend too much time on these questions. In case if you spend 15 minutes, 12 minutes or 6 minutes to solve even single question, there's nothing you'll be able to achieve. You haven't achieved any, you haven't broken any world record, or even you'll not be able to win any gold medal. You'll be just killing your chance to get the call from decent colleges, or you'll be just killing your career ambitions. So guys, this is again 4 sentences, and we have to find out the order in these sentences. Welcome, Kushi. So if again the steps will remain the same, we teach the tricks to our students that read all the 4 sentences very carefully, try to figure out the opening sentence, then the any mandatory pair if you are able to track, then concluding sentence also. If you read all the sentences, you will find the work is more than text, means there has to be something more than this. The convergence of text and the reader brings the literary work into existence, and this convergence means we are talking about some convergence. There should be some two different areas. If I read third sentence from this polarity, this is a pronoun, it means there has to be something before this. And now read the fourth sentence, you will find out that this has to be the opening sentence. The literary work has two poles, which we might call the artistic and aesthetic. Now here author is introducing what exactly he or she wants to search when it comes to literary work. It has got two poles, two ends. Artistic refers to text created by the author, and aesthetic refers to the aesthetic means sense of beauty, to realization accomplished by the reader. Means when you read, being a reader, we read something and we appreciate the beauty of the writing, let it be poem or anything, any piece of work, that's called aesthetic. And artistic is the way he or she presents. So 4. After 4, here we are talking only two poles. Then from this polarity, two poles means this polarity. After 4, 3 will come. So the work is more than text. The text only takes on life when it is realized, and furthermore, this realization is by no means independent of individual disposition, your attitude towards writer's attitude towards the reader. 4, 3, 1, and finally it's 2. So answer is 4, 3, 1, 2. But point is that under time pressure, it is very difficult for the text taker who is reading these sentences for the first time, and at the same time you have to understand the main story also, theme also. So it is very important to practice these areas a lot before you take on this challenge head on the D-Day. So 4, 3, 1, 2. So guys, now this is very interesting summary based question from slot 1. So the passage given below is followed by 4 alternate summaries. Choose the option which best captures the essence of the passage. Right? So it says McGurk and MacDonald, 76, reported a powerful multi-sensory illusion. And what was it? Occurring with audio-visual. Audio is listening and visual, you see something. Speech. They recorded voice articulating a constant ba 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 and dubbed it with face articulating another constant ga ga ga. Initially the original signals, sound signals were ba ba ba, and the face was lip syncing like ga ga ga. So the mixed result was absolutely different. Even though the acoustic speech signal was well recognized alone, it was heard as another consonant after dubbing with incongruent visual speech da da da. Means they superimposed ba 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 with ga ga ga, and the end result was something altogether different, da da da. So this actually is called, this illusion is termed as McGurk effect, and it has been replicated many times, and it has sparked an abundance of research. The reason for great impact is that this is striking demonstration of multi-sensory integration. That when you try to throw so many signals, variety in front of human beings, and where we have to use eyes also, auditory nerves also, and brain also, then the result would be altogether different. So now summary. In summary, we are not supposed to pick up the main idea of this small paragraph. We need to pick up all the key points and put them at one place is equal to summary. So make this, I'm repeating the second time. So if you look at second option, seemingly close, the McGurk effect is a demonstration of multi-sensory integration that has been replicated many times. So it is only one of the aspects that he has touched, that demonstration of multisensory. We have missed that two different signals were superimposed and then were shown to the signal was heard by the people and something different they were able to hear. So this part is missing. Second is covering only a little bit of this, has missed the important this aspect that signals were there or they were mixed. Second seems to be very close, and it is partial summary, not the complete summary. Now look at the fourth choice. Visual speech mismatched with auditory speech. The very first part told us this. The visual speech mismatched with auditory speech can result in the perception of entirely different message. First part taken care of. This illusion is known as Maghark effect. It has been replicated many times. It was one of the facts. So assuming that we are able to understand also, guys. So those who are my YouTube audience, so guys, are you able to understand? Yes or no? You can write in the chat box. You have got Yatin, Deepak Kumar, Khushi. Okay, so guys, let's move on to slot number 2. Let's move on to slot number 2. Slot number 2, this passage I have picked up from slot number 2, and it is primarily based on languages. So it says that it is easy to forget that most of the world languages are still transmitted orally. Means generally when we are born, so we are generally we first of all come across the language uh, which we are told, right? So we come across. So while speech communities are increasingly involved in projects to protect their languages in print, on air, or and online, very interesting phenomena that has emerged over the years is online storing or recording the endangered languages. Orality is fragile because it is not possible for language to transmit orally. One, the speaker should be alive also, the community should be alive also to transmit orally to the next generation. Orality is fragile, therefore, and contributes to linguistic vulnerability. There can be impurity added, there can be mismatch, there could be miscommunication. Means there can be there n number of things can happen to spoil the language. But indigenous languages are about much more than unusual words, entering grammar. They function as vehicles for transmission of cultural tradition. If you look at very tribal languages, etc., they encompass not only emotions but traditions also, environmental understanding also, and knowledge about medicinal plants also. And they all are at great risk when their elders die. Livelihoods are disrupted because they'll not be able to understand the world around, the nature around, the environment around, and they'll not be able to earn their livelihood. In case if the culture is lost, the language is lost, elders, obviously human beings, we all die, and after their death of their elders, the young ones will not be able to survive with the without any direction. So what is happening? So what we are doing, what world is doing, and what these linguists are doing to save these languages is the gist of this passage actually. So the author is saying both push and pull factor lead to decline of languages. And what is the push and pull? Through war, famine, natural disasters, whole communities can be destroyed, taking their language with them to the grave, such as indigenous population of Tasmania who were wiped out by colonists during imperialist era. More commonly, speakers live on but abandon their language sometimes in favor of another vernacular. If I go and settle myself in France, so my next generation definitely will not be able to speak the native language, Indian language, and they definitely will follow French culture, French language, etc. They have to abandon, they definitely will abandon the native language in favor of another vernacular. Means their local language, widespread process that linguists refer to language shift. This is called shift, and which few languages are immune. Such trading up and out of the speech form occurs for complex political, cultural, and economic reasons. Sometimes voluntary for economic and educational reasons, because if I go to any other country where English medium is not available, students are taught in their own native language, so I have to learn that particular language first, and then I can think of studying there. So this could be one of the reasons. Now, here it is an important point. Although often amplified by state coercion. Coercion means you use your force to achieve unjust means. So compulsion, some sort of repression is there, or neglect. Welsh, one of the states in London, Welsh, long stigmatized and disparaged by British state language also spoken, has rebounded with vigor. Now this was neglected by British for a long time, but now this language is again on the scene with great strength, vigor. Many speakers of endangered, poorly documented languages have embraced this is new thing which is happening in this today's era world, new digital media with excitement, because now they can store the stuff forever. The hard disk will remain forever, supercomputers will remain here forever, and other such mediums which are permanent nature will remain forever. Because if something is any secret or any language is alive till the human beings are alive, and if they die, the secret of the languages will definitely die. So speakers of previously exclusively oral tongues are turning to web as virtual space for languages to live on. This is one of the things that is happening. So internet technology offers powerful way for oral traditional culture practice to survive. Only I'm reading this much. I'm not wasting your time. So globalization is generally often uncritically criticized as major threat to linguistic diversity. But in fact, globalization is not. It is the ideology certainly when it comes to language. The real force behind cultural homogenization are unending beliefs exchanged through globalized delivery system and reinforced by historical monolingualism. So generally the world is moving towards its globalization is one of the things that is actually promoting, and people are also by choice they are promoting only single language to be used all over the world so as to have communication better, simple and understandable. So monolingualism, the condition of being able to speak only one language, is regularly accompanied by deep-seated conviction in the value of the language over all over others. Over all others. For example, we give too much weightage to this language called English because it's English spoken all over the world. Across the largest economies that make up G8, being monolingual is still considered the norm, and multilingualism appear unusual, and they are not so-called, they are not shown respect, or it is not considered anything which is of great significance. So monolingual mindset stand in sharp contrast to lived reality of most of the world, because in the world we have got so many things, so many religions, so many practices, so many faiths and so many languages, so many cultures, and in spite of this entire world is going after monolingualism. Monolingualism then is not, and not the globalization is at the fault. So monolingualism, are human beings' ability to favor only one language, is the major culprit when it comes to the destruction of other local languages. So this was exactly the gist of the passage. Now the questions, guys, based on this passages, were quite simple. No doubt, passage while reading this, I read for all of you. But if you read and if you try to give it time to absorb, to assimilate the stuff, then probably you will find the things going out of mind immediately. You finish one paragraph and you move on to second paragraph, you'll find that first paragraph has vanished over. So the author mentioned the Welsh language to show that what the language can survive even after their speakers have gone through language shift. So after language shift example, he has given the example of Welsh, the language. So fourth is the answer option. From the passage we can infer that author is in the favor of So author is saying that main culprit for these languages to get into this extinctive phase is monolingualism. So author definitely will favor multilingualism. So third option. We can infer all of the following about indigenous languages from the passage except. So they are responsible for traditional knowledge. Yes, this can be inferred. People are increasingly working on documenting these languages. Yes, this is also there in the passage. Their vocabulary and grammatical constructs have been challenging to the document. No, this is not possible. As per the passage, people are now willingly and very easily are documenting the lost tradition or lost languages. So third cannot be inferred. And fourth, if you look at, there are danger of being wiped out at most, as most can only be transmitted orally. So this is also true as per the passage. Three cannot be inferred. So author lists all of the following as the reasons for decline or disappearance except. So if you take your time and you read, read the options. So the author lists all of the following as the reasons for decline or disappearance of a language except the government promoting certain language over others. Yes, this is one of the reasons. Yes. A catastrophic event that entirely eliminates the people. Yes, this was Tasmania's example was given. People shifting away from their own language. This is also given called language shift. So the focus only on few languages as a result of widespread internet use. Internet, on the other hand, is promoting saving these languages rather than helping to diminish these languages. So second is factually opposite. So this cannot be the reason for the language disappearance. Remaining passages, guys: sociology, literature and philosophy, and psychology. Remaining passages. So if you look at now again 4 sentences, but if you read the sentences, you will find the sentences again, this para jumbles, that tricks would remain the same. You need to read the sentences, you need to understand the context. So I'll just stop here for a while watching the video. You can pause at this particular slide to read these sentences. So it says that look forward a few decades to an invitation which can end energy crisis. The global economy can curb climate change at stroke commercial fusion power. To gain meaningful insight, logic has to be accompanied by something. So I think some problem has been highlighted. So let's read third sentence even. The greatest of all invention is invention that has provided insight on which others depend. The modern scientific method. Now this is very generic sentence, has to be an opener in this case. This invention. So after 3 Uber invention, and after 3 to gain meaningful insight, logic has to be accompanied by asking probing questions of nature through controlled tests, precise observation, clever analysis. And after this, this invention is inconceivable without scientific method, right? It will rest on the application of diverse range of. After 3, 2 will come. After 2, 1 will come. Look forward for a few decades to an invention which can end the energy crisis. After 3, 2, then 1 will come. Change the global economy and curb climate change at a stroke, single stroke, and commercial fusion power. But for this, what we need, the concluding sentence. This invention, which invention are we talking about? Which is mentioned already in 1. So this invention is inconceivable without scientific method. So we need to have science in place to have these methods so that we can think of saving the world from these so-called very challenging issues that we all are facing. So guys, this is your summary based question. So it says that the unlikely alliance of incumbent industrialist and the distressed employee worker is especially powerful amid the debris of corporate bankruptcy and layoff. So incumbent industries, those who are facing the heat because of any reason, and the people who are workers who are employed, and that too amidst the debris of corporate bankruptcy and layoff. So what this will result into? In an economic downturn, whenever any economy is going through recessive phase, for example, because of corona, the capitalist is more likely to focus on costs. Capitalist is one who invests the money, or one who wants to extract only money out of the activities. The capitalist is more likely to focus on cost of competition emanating from free markets than on the opportunities they create. And for the unemployed worker, will find many others in a similar condition, like others will also be unemployed during economic downturn and with anxieties similar to his, which will make it easier for them to organize together. Now all distressed people will come together in this economic downturn phase. Using the cover and the political organization developed by distressed people, the capitalists capture the political agenda and will try to exploit this opportunity. That's how it goes in the paragraph. So which option is aptly summing up? So it is second option. In an economic downturn, the capitalists use anxieties of unemployed and their political organization to set a political agenda to suit their economic interests. So this is very well captured by option number 2. If you read while watching this video again, you just have to stop, click pause and read the paragraph and then come on to this option. Answer is option 2. Now next question, slot 2 Para Jumble. So again we have to rearrange, we have to find out odd one out. So it has taken on warm fuzzy glow in the advertising world. So in the 4 sentences, if you read, I'll just stop here for a while so that while watching the video you can click pause to understand these sentences. So it has taken a warm fuzzy glow in the advertising world. If you read all the sentences, 4 would be focusing on neuromarketing or digital marketing. 1 will be talking a little different. And it is 5th, the market, what marketing gurus are doing. Rest 4 are primarily talking about only the neuromarketing or digital marketing. 5th is talking about the marketing gurus have already started drawing on psychology and developing tests and theories and advising people have borrowed the idea of focus group from social scientists. So it's talking about social scientists, marketing gurus, etc., what they are doing. And first 4 sentences we are talking about this newly emerging field which has emerged recently, that's called neuromarketing. So slot 3 guys, in this passage, slot 3 is one of the passages I picked up. I'll be just rushing through. This was actually based on price we have to pay to measure the time accurately. Very important, just price we have to pay to measure the time accurately. As per the passage, the gist I'm telling, because we shall be running short of time. So it says that whenever any clock ticks, right, the ticking will increase the entropy in the universe. The ticking will produce heat, heat will produce entropy, and universe entropy will increase as a result. So this is a price that we are paying to measure something time accurately. So this a passage moves around this only, that it doesn't imply, author say that it doesn't imply that we should stop measuring time, and some clocks are efficient, some are not. This is not the case. Most of things are universal, but they haven't tested this particular hypothesis that every ticking of the clock will produce entropy, because we have got earlier clocks were based on sundials and sand clocks. There will not have entropy. These clocks will not increase entropy. Atomic clock you talk about, mechanical watches you talk about, other quartz clock you talk about. So they all have this ticking pulse to generate time to measure seconds. So whenever tick is there, pulse is there, heat would be there, entropy will increase as a result. So, but it doesn't imply as a reverse also, that increase entropy in any system means accurate time. No doubt, in order to measure accurate time, we are increasing the entropy of the universe. See how many clocks are ticking all around the world every second. So just imagine the magnitude of the increased entropy over the period of time. But sand clock, sundial clock, etc., so these are not increasing, they will not increase entropy. So there are a couple of time measurement methods which will not add to the entropy of the universe, but these clocks are called are adding. So guys, again this is science based passage. In slot 3 out of 4, 3 were based on science and technology based passages. So it's very important guys to make sure that you read these passages with great care, and you need to focus on. So I'll just stop here for 1 or 2 seconds on every slide so that you get the time to click the pause. First screen, second screen, third screen, fourth screen. Again, I'm stopping at each screen for a couple of seconds so that you also get the time to pause the screen and read the passage in case if you want to. So last couple of lines I'm reading. So because there are many types of clock for which relationship between accuracy and entropy haven't been tested. One of the things that you have to keep in mind, because one of the questions was based on this particular line. And this is also a very interesting example. It is just it is a bit like fuel use in a car. Just because I'm using more fuel doesn't mean that I'm going faster, but in order to go fast we'll be consuming more fuel, right? Engine will be working at very high pace, but reverse is not true. To go fast we have to use more fuel, but using more fuel on the other hand will not ensure that we are going very fast. It's on contrary, it shows inefficiency of the engine. So author is saying it is still unclear how this principle plays out in real devices such as atomic clock, which push the ultimate quantum limit of the accuracy. Still, there are a couple of things that we haven't been able to answer regarding this time accuracy, entropy. But this is for sure happening as per the passage. So guys, in this particular example, it is a bit like fuel used in the car. Just because I'm using more fuel doesn't, why author has given this example. Now this particular question is called application of understanding. So draw the parallel also, which particular, or you can say application of understanding in terms of understanding the vocabulary or the line or sentence itself. So if you read, you will find the option to be 1. If you go faster in the car, you tend to consume more fuel, which I also told you, but converse is not true. Same way, increased entropy doesn't necessarily mean greater accuracy of the clock. No doubt, to have greater accuracy, we definitely will increase entropy, but increased entropy doesn't mean the reverse, right? So first answer. Author makes all of the following arguments in the passage except that. So relationship between accuracy and entropy may not apply to all clocks. Likewise, I also told you, yes, this is correct. So we have to find out except, which is wrong. There is no difference in accuracy between the inefficient grandfather clock and atomic clock. While reading the passage, you will come across this third is given in the passage. In designing clocks for quantum computers, both precision and heat to be taken into account, because this will increase the entropy of the system and the universe as well. So this is also given. But if you read the sentence to option 2, researchers found that heat produced in the system is price that we have to pay. No, we are increasing entropy, that's the price we are paying, not heat producing. We are not producing heat through these, but we are increasing entropy. The increased entropy is a price which will increase the chaos in the universe, and it will be multiplied a number of times later on. Second option. So this is, I would say, easiest of all in this third slot. You just have to recall the keywords while answering this question. If you look at measuring time, passage moves around only 3 key areas. Measuring time and how accuracy is measured and how accuracy leads to increase in entropy. So none of the following, now you have to read the question also very carefully. If we have been asked, none of the following can be inferred. Means only one can be inferred, rest all the options are wrong. So you have to, again, these are pretty easy questions, and if you're getting these questions wrong, that means you were not focused while reading. So look at the fourth sentence. A clock with a 50 nanometer thick membrane of silicon nitride has been made to vibrate, producing electric current. It has to made to vibrate. This is wrong. Actually, we are using electric current to vibrate these membranes to measure time. It is not. Their production is, their vibration is producing electricity. With the help of electricity, we are producing. So this is totally reverse written. Just to and by. Made to vibrate, by electricity. We are vibrating these membranes to measure silicon nitride membrane. So fourth. So if you read, guys, this particular paragraph, I'm just here stopping for a couple of seconds so that you also can pause. So Brazil growth rate has been low, yet most Brazilians say their financial situation has improved over the year. They expect it to get even better. So this was, and in spite of everything going in right direction in Brazil, still there is a disparity, dichotomy in the society with respect to have and have nots, rich and poor. Because ultimately middle class from lower middle people are moving to middle class, and they have to pay taxes, and this is putting burden on these people. So if you look at this, so you will find fourth to be the right option. Most Brazilians feel that they have been benefited from current economic scenario, but poor continue to be dealt unfairly by the state. This is the last line. Brazilians paying the biggest, Brazilians, sorry, S should be here. Brazilians paying the biggest share of their income taxes and getting the least back in government services. Poor Brazilians are paying taxes, right? So all the points well counted, taken into consideration in option fourth is our answer option. So I'll be just skipping this question, not required now. Areas remaining passage, guys. Passage 1, science and technology. Passage 2, psychology, was one of the areas based on. Passage 4, one of the passages was based on language and science. So if you look at 2021 CAT, you will find passages based on different areas, 4 prominent areas: business and economy, sociology, science, history, culture, etc. So we need to include these areas in our reading, rather than just going randomly and picking up anything for the sake of So guys, these are the sources from where the CAT paper setters also pick up the areas and articles, and they edit the articles for you to create passages. And the Guardian, UK's newspaper, Wall Street Journal, US newspaper, New York Times. These are and Washington Post. These first four are very favorite. They are fond of CAT paper setters are fond of these four papers, and they pick up the articles and they create RCs for you. And a couple of magazines also CAT paper setters are fond of. Time, Forbes, and The Economist and The Week. First four. Here, first four newspapers and first four. So make sure that whichever Indian newspaper you are getting at home and you are reading on regular basis, which I am assuming all 22 experience, make sure that you read one of these four newspapers, one of these magazine on thrice or four times a week to get the insight into variety. So guys, to help young aspirants, 22 aspirants, we already have started a couple of batches. Weekday batch 1, Monday to Friday, 5:15 to 6:45 concept session, and for the same batch, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we have got doubt session also. We teach and next day we take the doubt. For example, right now if I am taking sentence arrangement and misfits, so next day I'll be taking the doubts from the questions given as homework. Batch 2 started on 8 January. These all are cyclic batches. If you want to attend all the batches, up to you, you can attend all the batches. So CAT weekday batch 2, time 9 to 10:30, and Monday, Friday 9 to 10. Doubt session. Concept, then doubt. Concept and then doubt. Weekend batch started on 9th of January. Timing Saturday 12 to 1, doubts. 3:30 to 5 and 5:15 concept classes. Sunday 10:15, 10:45 to 11:45 doubts, and 12 to this time on the screen for concept classes. So features of the course, what we provide to our students: 200 plus hours of live concept and doubt classes, 160 full length tests, 210 concept videos, 10k plus questions based on expected questions, what we'll find in CAT generally. Added advantage, guys. So this is very interesting. If you want to pace up your preparation, you are working professionally, or you have less time to prepare CAT and other such exams, then you want to pace up your preparation, you can join rotational batches. You can attend one topic in this batch, next topic in next batch, and next topic in next batch on the in the same week. Then second option, big bulky Pathshala also we have got. Here we keep on interacting, we keep on inviting the toppers and other experts, and we invite students also. They ask their doubts and they share their tricks and experience with the students. Then guys, personalized attention also to ensure best result. We have a Telegram group in place. So actual price of this course is 59,999, but EMI option also available. But you can get this course at 39,999, and for any further assistance, you can call 842-700-1707. The numbers you see on your screen. Just give us missed call on 1800 toll-free number. Our counselors will get back to you. So guys, let us sum up the discussion. So guys, in order to score well in verbal ability, let it be CAT 21 or CAT 22 or CAT 25, whichever year we are talking about, we need to develop the habit of reading. Read more and more, guys. Learn to read for main ideas. Until unless we understand the main idea, there's no point we can think of anything else. Challenge your comprehension. It's not that sometimes you are able to understand simple things easy. So challenge your comprehension. Pick up something very difficult. Budget your time. Pace yourself and develop habit of immediate concentration, because at the max we are given 40 minutes to attempt the section. 40 minutes verbal, 40 minutes quant, 40 minutes LRDI. Thank you guys, and for showing patience till the end, watching the video till the end, and all the best for your all endeavors and challenges, and especially the CAT 22 and other such exams. Have faith, be cheerful, do not read anything with heavy mind or sadness on your face. Thank you all.